What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest channel and podcast. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that like button while you're at it if you're listening to this on YouTube, because I really appreciate it that you are here. And let's get into this podversation / reality chat. Now, this actually stems from one of the most recent episodes of Married to Medicine. So we're going to be talking about Toya and quadwebb. And if you haven't been following the show from the very first season, even the very first episode of the first season, you could clearly see that Toya really wasn't here for Quad. I feel like Toya felt that Quad really was beneath her. Why is she in this group? She was one of the newest married in the group. And Mariah, who I believe was the brains behind the show, Married to Medicine, who was no longer on the show, but I believe she has an EP credit, and there was some legal things going on that I believe she has since settled. So hopefully she's happy. I liked Mariah. I know a lot of people didn't see her for her, but I actually liked her because, again, these reality shows, they have to have a little bit of mess, and Mariah, she would definitely bring it. And she was, just like Quad, a bit of a wordsmith with the shade and all of that other stuff. So I digress. This isn't about Mariah, but it is about Quad and Toya. Now, initially, Mariah and Quad were friends, and then they had a falling out, and that got tiring, and honestly, I was over that. But I don't believe that Toya and Quad were ever really friends, but throughout the seasons, they've had their moments where they would seem like they were trying to get, on a good foot with each other and be friendly and be cordial. And, there were times where they had their laughing moments and they were cool. Well, Quad had her housewarming / holla sleigh party, and Toya was joking with her husband Eugene about how she was going to get back at Quad because several years ago, when they were going through some tax issues, and it was all in the blogs and in the news about their unpaid taxes, Quad, she was being shady. She was. She brought a shady gift basket, and it had things in it like ramen noodles and, things about budgeting and stuff like that. And she was being shady and trying to be funny at the same time. But, Toya took it. She laughed it off at the time. But I feel that she always was, pissed off about it. And when Quad was going through her divorce, she didn't feel that she should be going on couples trips anymore. I don't believe Toya ever said she should not be on the show anymore. Actually, Mariah was the one that said it. She was like, you're not even married to medicine, my love. She made it be known that why are you still here? You're not even married to anyone, let alone married to someone who is in the medical field like you were. So bye-bye. But Toya just felt like, well, why is she going on couples trips? Because she's not married. And even though Toya, she is a fan favorite to some, and some people, they don't see it for her. I've had my moments where she got on my nerves. I did agree with her in that sense, and I still agree with that to this day. It's like, in real life, if you're single, would you be going on a couples trip with other couples? It doesn't make sense. I'm not saying you can't be their friends, but why would someone single be going on a couples trip? So Married to Medicine, in my opinion, even though I do believe that a lot of the so-called friendships are not real, it is one of the realest reality shows that I watch. So I feel that that's a bit fraudulent. Why bring a single person on a couples trip? That's clearly for the show, but I digress. Toya, she said, I'm going to get back at her. So she brought to Quad's party a gift basket, and one of the things she had in there was a t-shirt with the word diva on it, and it was the D for divorced, I for intelligence, V for vivacious, and A for awesome. Now, Quad, in her confessional, she made some shady comments about Toya. She's like, yeah, I know you, yes, I'm divorced, and I know you want to be divorced. So she was throwing shade at Toya. And yeah, Toya was being shady with the t-shirt, as well as there was a Snuggie in the basket. So on the show, Eugene said, that, yeah, this is a good idea for her because, she's alone. So cold, it gets cold when you're lonely. So sometimes they want to put on a Snuggie to keep warm. So Quad reposted the clip of that to Twitter of Eugene saying that. And then she went off on Eugene and she said, I'm sorry, didn't at Dr. Heavenly tell you at Eugene Harris III, at this point, Eugenia, to stay out of women's business? Sounds like I need to make you a personal basket per your wife, complete with a backbone, Cialis, Viagra, and a penis pump. Oh my God. Wow. Again, I feel that, yeah, the joke that Eugene made was shady, but you go from Eugene saying that, yeah, the Snuggie's a, good idea. Sometimes she may get cold and lonely, so put on a Snuggie, to calling him out, calling him Eugenia. So basically calling him a woman, or like Nene called Peter years ago on Real Housewives of Atlanta, calling Peter, well, she said she didn't call him a bitch, but she said he needed to stop acting like a bitch. That is not something that you do to someone's husband. So, of course, Toya is going to tweet and clap back at Quad, because you're coming for this woman's husband at this point. And in a way that I feel that was pretty low. Yeah, it's funny for us to laugh at it, but to say someone's husband needs some performance enhancing pills and something to enlarge their nether regions, I feel is definitely going too far. So yeah, Toya responded and she said, my husband is a professional and doesn't speak to women like you. We know your type. Hashtag liar, hashtag trifling, hashtag trollop, hashtag Jezebel, hashtag married to med, hashtag ho. Oh my God. So Quad responds and says, she actually didn't respond to that. Quad got clapped back at again by Toya and said something else. And I was like, wow. She says, don't speak to my husband, and calls her a name. So she basically, called her a woman of the streets and said, get one of your own so that a man can speak to a man. I know you think you have a bleep, but that's a dildo. Wow. I almost spit out my drink when I read that. Toya definitely was not here for Quad with the comments that she made about her husband Eugene, calling him Eugenia. I mean, come on. Like, what woman is going to be okay with another woman calling their husband basically calling them a woman, or calling them a bitch? Like, you don't do that. And I believe Nene and Cynthia's relationship was never the same, even though Cynthia is far from like Toya. Like, Toya has shown and proven, I believe, that she will get with you if you go there with her. Like, Cynthia, she's definitely more docile and apologetic and, trying to be on the side of the person, even though they're wrong, for the sake of peace. Like, that is far from who Toya is. So Toya was like, I am not having it. Like, I'm going to get with this chick. And so Toya and Quad, they've never seen it for each other. And now that Quad is still on the show and she isn't married, that definitely is an issue that Toya had. She agreed with Mariah that, well, maybe she can be on the show, but why does she have a full-time cast, role, as well as going on couples trips and, attending couples dinners together to give feedback? Yeah, she's been married and she's been divorced, and, hopefully they can take some insight and things like that from her I don't even want to say failed, from her relationship that is no longer in existence, her, marriage that is no longer in existence. But now there are the rumors about Quad sleeping around as well as Toya sleeping around. So I don't know, maybe they have some things in common and that's why they kind of have this hate relationship for each other, because they say opposites attract. So sometimes when people have a lot in common, then it's hard for them to be on the same page together. But I just wanted to talk about that. You guys let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. And until the next time, this is Beth, and I'm just being beautifully honest.